Defensive end Ziggy Ansah and wide receiver Marvin Jones. Royals over the Tigers 4-3 yesterday. Two teams do it again tonight from Comerica Park. 5:40 the broadcast time right here on the ticket. Jeff Bannister fired after 4 years as manager of the Texas Rangers. His team 64-88 this year. He also won 2 division titles. In golf, Tiger Woods and Justin Rose share the lead through 36 holes to the final leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Rory McIlroy is 2 back. At the ticket update desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 9701theticket.com.
The following is a paid program. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Alrighty, welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. Alongside of me, Harry Glantz.
Morning, Harv. How you doing today?
Fantastic here. Would you believe it already? Fall is tonight.
Lee in.
Yeah, Lee Ehlers. There he is.
What's up, America?
There he is. Lee Ehlers comes in, of course, from Remerica, United Realty, and Novi. And Lee, you worked that whole sort of new area, the new 696 area. Novi, Northville, we'll throw Northville in there, South Line, and Milford, the whole deal. Headed west, you got to call Lee.
Absolutely. It's booming, it's big, it's where everyone wants to be.
There's so much commercials. Call Lee free. Oh, that's not you. Oh, I'm sorry. I just watched too much
Happens
TV,
all the time.
brother.
It's got Lee in, it's probably good.
Yeah, it's like our number,
okay.
Harry, 1-800-LOW-RATE.
1-800-LOW-RATE.
Just call that one.
That's probably the best number in the mortgage industry.
I would say so. Definitely.
You're not looking for a high rate, are you?
No one wants a higher rate.
So it's not 1-800-HIGH rate.
I'm glad you brought it up. Finally, a better day yesterday in the market. Of course, mortgage rates are trending up. That's where they're headed. The Fed's going to meet this week. Investors are sort of waiting to see what the Fed's going to say after the press conference. They're going to meet September, this one meeting, and then one more in December.
Going up again?
Definitely going to go up. They're talking about a 0.25% jump in the Fed funds rate. Again, it might have been built in throughout the last week or so, but you never know. Lock in those rates sooner than later.
Well, listen, I love it when everybody says that. Everything's built in. Well, when it's built in, that means things have to go up.
Absolutely.
Okay, they're not here. We said it forever. They're not going down to zero. As a matter of fact, what I find ironic, and this just shows how our behavioral pattern as human beings go. Rates are at 3.5, 3 3/4, 3 7/8 back in the early part of last year, and we're telling people to go ahead and refinance and consolidated debt, and they're saying no, they're going down. I want to wait till they go down. Well, they're not going down. Now our refinancing and debt consolidation portion of our business is so brisk, and the rates are about 1.5 points higher. Okay. So
are you asking yourself where were they?
No, I'm not asking. I'm here. I apologize. I'm advising people right now on today's date, okay, at 9:03 in the morning. Rates aren't going down. They're going up. It's just the way it's going to be. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because that means the economy is doing very well.
I like where you're positioning us here for the show. 248-539-9797. Lee, we're talking about rates going up. Prices have been going up. I mean, we've seen it nonstop due to the lack of inventory over the last 2 years. If you're out there, you're in multiple bid situations. However, things might have switched over a little bit. There's talk now that it's more of a buyer's market as we head into this fall and winter.
Well, what's happening is everybody considers the market a whole thing. Like every single house and every single price point is up or down. That's just not true. What we're finding is that if you're in the high-end price points, anything above, say, $500,000, that has slowed down a little bit. But if you're in the average household, we'll call it, in the Metro Detroit area, those are hot. You want to buy now because those are the people that are most affected by those rate hikes. So those are the people that want to hit it hard right now.
Yeah, definitely. What does it mean to you on $100,000 if their interest rate goes up an 8%? Well, it's $8. So on $200,000, it's $16. And then here, 0.5% on a $200,000 loan. Just some regular easy math for listeners out there. Yeah. $64 difference. So it's not outrageous, but yes, 0.5%. If you want to keep $64 in your pocket, that's a good way to go. Start now because, if you see a little 0.5% more bump into next year, you're going to have a little bump in your house payment.
Well, and subsequently, if you're thinking about consolidating debt and rates are going to go up, that means that you would save $64 off of your debt consolidation, your cash out refinance transaction to pay off the higher 18% credit card debt. So the idea is to save as much money as you possibly can. Now, advocating for if you want to go ahead and pull cash out and pay off debt, advocating for you to do that right away. Now, subsequently, Lee, when we talk about it, we don't want to push anybody into buying a house.
No.
Okay, I don't want anybody to rush into doing something that they don't want to do. So I'm not saying now go out and buy a house now because the rates are going to be lower than they are in 6 months from now. but you might want to take a look at it. Now, also, they could save money going into the wintertime on a house because, as you said, certain segments of the market, you might see the prices come down a little bit. Like you said, when you talk about the whole market, people like to just throw a blanket over everything. Where if you take numbers and you go prices at 100,000 and under, then you go 150 to 100, then you go 200 to 150, then you go 250 to 200. Each market, for the individual buyer, consumer out there, they're looking in a specific price range. And that's what we say when we talk to people on the phone. When you refer your people to us and you talk to Harvey, you will say to Harvey, the first thing coming out of your mouth, listen, I have a client that's looking in the 250 range. That's exactly what you do as a realtor.
Absolutely, every time.
Right. And when you go ahead and you plug in to Real Comp, you know, the house that you're going to take those buyers to, you put in parameters. You put in 200 to 250 between 7 Mile and 8 Mile, between this street and that street, and that's what you do. That's just what we do in our business. So we do the same thing as mortgage people. We put in a range, we put an interest rate range, we put in a program range, and then we put in a tax range, and we come out with what approximately somebody's payment is going to be. So it's all formulated, and it's all good, and it's designed specifically for that consumer.
Yeah, what happens is it's not just that amount per month that you're paying more, and you're multiplying it by 30-year mortgages if that's what you're going to do, and it's just the interest rate and the principal. It's a bunch of stuff that's in that number, so it really does benefit you to hit it now.
Right. All right. We always talk about debt consolidation out there. We're going to touch on everything this morning. Again, 1-800-LOW-RATE to call Capital Mortgage all day long, all weekend long. That's 1-800-569-7283. I know Ronnie's there with the full staff. The weekend staff's always in there to take your phone calls. The important thing is if you're still out there looking at a house, to make sure you have a strong approval letter. We're still finding a lot of families out there still not putting that right process together. And if there's anything we could do to help you is to get a strong approval letter. As Lee mentions, the competition's still very fierce, especially from 100,000 to that 250 range, as families are either getting into the market or looking to step up from their starter home. So there's opportunities out there. And again, maybe this fall, Lee, that's what I was sort of feeling. Is that feeling in the air a little bit like the buyers have? Just I knew I was up against a multiple situation the other day, and our offer got accepted. I don't know if it said Capital Mortgage or, but whatever it took, the buyers and the sellers are going to move forward and go ahead. And that price range was about 169.
Yeah, like what I always do with all my offers is I just put a big photo of Harvey on there, and they instantly accept it, But, what's happening right now, too, is we got the tariff stuff, we got steel going up. There's a bunch of other factors. So everyone says, well, I'll buy new construction. Well, that's great. Well, the cost to build a house is going up, and then the builder's not going to take that cost down. It's going to go directly to the consumer, obviously. So buyers are finding out, oh, crap, I thought I could buy a house in this range. Turns out when they nickel and dime me all the way up, it's now a $400,000 house, not a $300,000 house. So you combine that with the interest rates and everything else that's going on. It is the type of thing where you think it's going to loosen up, but it won't. Plus rates going up. There's a lot of factors that are going to hurt you.
Yeah, but definitely take your calls all morning long to discuss that if you're thinking even about new construction. 248-539-9797. We're broadcasting live here in the 97.1 studio. After us, we got Jeff Rieger, and then, of course, Michigan football here live on 97.1 starting at noon. Tons of great stuff here. Of course, a great vibe out there. We always talk what a great area we live in, especially as fall's creeping in. Great high school football last night. Salute to all the guys out there working hard, whether you won or lost. Definitely a good job. And, of course, we got a lot of college football going on.
Hey, Harvey, your cousin's playing for U of M today.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, we're trying to get him in there, number 33. We'll try to get Lewis Grodman. Hey, we don't mind if Michigan pulls it off today, and we like if they beat him really good, and he gets in the game maybe in the later quarters. Definitely.
I hope Louis plays really well.
There you go, here.
There you go.
The cost of new construction, Lee, you brought it up. Supply has suffered due to the rising building costs. I mean, there's no doubt they can't even find labor. They can't find the guys to build the houses. But then you mentioned also the cost in the goods, the cost in land, and then the cost to get the people to build a house. So that's driven up new construction costs. But with that being said, Lee, if someone's interested, maybe now they sit down with the builder. There's no doubt that those builders, and I've built three new construction homes, they love bringing up the prices when spring hits. So if you could sign a contract now or in the winter months when they don't have as much traffic, maybe there's a better opportunity to save a few dollars.
Yeah, the big thing with that is you kind of mentioned it right there, is sit down with a builder. Well, the thing is that builders get an agent every time. And that agent is going to hammer you, and they're not going to tell you the full truth because you're not the person, you're not the fiduciary. So the deal is bring an agent with you to those meetings every single time. Sign up first. It doesn't cost you $1. And it's going to protect you so that you know exactly what's going on. Because if that builder is scamming you, how do you know? So it's really, 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 really important you have an agent with you for those meetings.
Yeah, I don't know if the word is, not you said scam. I know it's a good word out there. We're going to talk about some scams later. I don't see it coming from the bill. I think that's sort of keeping you, not educated on the process.
Absolutely.
And we see that with people. Who's paying the transfer tax? Who's paying the title insurance? What benefits do they give you if you work with them or you work with a great mortgage company like Capital Mortgage Funding? Hey, I'll tell you what, we got so much to talk about this morning. 248-539-9797. We'll be back with all your calls.
97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Hey, welcome back to the show. I know that music. 248-539-9797. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call here in the studio. 248-539-9797. We got an unbelievable thing going on here with Andrew. Andrew, you bring so much energy. You're on the millennial age, 31-year-old guy, handsome as can be.
Thank you.
But you know what you're doing. There's a lot to know about real estate. There's a lot of emotions involved, and you bring so much to the table. We'll get into all these things. 248-539-9797. We definitely want to hear from you. Talk about these first-time home buyers. You're sitting down with them. What are you finding that their needs are? Maybe some of the sellers out there need to do things to their home that would attract more of these first-time home buyers.
Well, I mean, we have the comps to prove that when you, clean your house, hardwood floors are big right now. See, my age group, we don't necessarily want to do the work. There are still a handful of us who don't mind, myself included. I bought a fixer-upper on Groseal to live in because I didn't mind doing the work. But for my generation, we basically we buy the pretty houses. You walk in and it's cleanliness is everything. I walk into some of these listings and I'm like, who let you list this house? It's disgusting. So that's very important for us. We want the security of the investment is what my age group wants, because we saw the worst of the recession.
Yeah.
We saw our parents lose houses. So we were a little timid at first to get into the market. So now that they're starting to get in there, it's really security of investment is what they're looking for.
Yeah, so last week we had a professional stager on this show, and Harvey loved that. And I know you guys listened to the show, and she was saying that it doesn't have to cost a lot of money to stage your house properly. So when your buyers walk in that house, they fall in love with it instantaneously.
Absolutely. And there's even, times where you don't even necessarily need to hire a company. Just get in there with a little creativity and show people how they're going to live in that home, and it really goes a long way.
Well, that's kind of part of what you do when you go to list a house.
Absolutely.
You tell people, hey, listen, we got to change this. And you tell them the hardcore truth, right?
Yeah, it's a tough conversation for some people. For me, it's not, because it's do we want to maximize this investment? Do we want to get top dollar? Because if so, this is what we got to do to get there.
Yeah, guys, so many families, of course, need to get the top dollar of the house because they're going to segue that into the next purchase and of course, whatever their plans are moving forward. Talk a little bit about the equity here. Over the last 5 to 8 years, it's been an unbelievable amount of equity across the United States, more specifically Southeast Michigan. Yes, we've come all the way back for the doldrums of the recession that we were dealing with. Northwest Mutual came out with some interesting things, though, about debt. So we'll talk a little about debt, but if you have the equity in your house, Jeff, you'll go ahead and agree with me on this, that undo that equity, pull that equity out, do the right thing with it, though. Harry talks about ripping up credit cards. Well, you got to keep some credit around.
Game Day Uncensored on 97.1 The Ticket. This Sunday, look for 97.1 The Ticket all over the D on the Ticket ATV with Twin Peaks. The Ticket ATV will cruise around to different tailgates around downtown Detroit with the Twin Peaks girls passing out swag. Look for the Ticket ATV to crash your tailgate party before the game. Get more information at 971theticket.com. Game Day Uncensored, brought to you by Twin Peaks.
The only way you can take 97.1 The Ticket with you is the radio.com app. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call at the office, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Always here in the studio, 248-539-9797, 917. It's pretty outside, going to go up to about 63 today. And again, a lot of great football around. We got Lee Ehlers in here. Lee's so great to have in here. If you've got a question about buying or selling, Lee's got a great angle for you and definitely show you ways to get your offer accepted and make that offer stand out. Hey, let's move on to Dave out there in Kego Harbor, sort of my backyard. Good morning, Dave. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing today?
Good. What's happening?
Not much, man. I had called like 3 months ago. I called the office. I think I spoke to Lisa is her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I spoke to her to get him. You know, because I don't know nothing about the process. So the reason I called you guys was I don't want to get somebody take me to the cleaners. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you called the right place. Lisa's great, too.
You're a smart man.
Okay, so I was making a certain amount of money, but she couldn't. My credit score was great and everything, but she couldn't give me a mortgage because of what I was making. So I bought into the place that I was working at, and now I'm making like 40% more than what I was making. So I'm wondering, how long do I have to wait before I can get a mortgage?
All right, so is it a salaried position? You're making more money on a salary, or is it hourly, or are you a commission
salary
person? It's a salary. So we can show that in the last 6 months you got a raise to what you're making now, correct?
No, I just got it like a month ago. So I got to wait like 6 months is what you're telling me?
No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Do you have your last two pay stubs probably show your new income, correct?
Well, it will. One will, and then another one will, yeah.
You're ready to go, Dave. We could use the new income to qualify you. Yeah, if your credit's good and you've gotten a salary raise.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, you're ready to go.
She wanted to give me a mortgage so bad, she just couldn't do it.
Well, she's going to hear from me.
She's going to work hard at trying. Now, are you an owner, or did you just buy in? What percentage do you own of that company?
25%.
It could get a little.
There you go.
It could get a little stickier. It can definitely get a little stickier because now you own 25% of the company. Let's do this. We'll definitely get Lisa involved, and I'm going to call her after the show and get you guys in touch with each other. Let's see what you got going.
Yeah, we'll get the updated information. So we have to update your file, take a look at it, add the additional income, then get a little bit more information from you.
Okay.
Sounds like it should be.
We appreciate it, Dave. Thank you very much for calling us.
All right, Dave. We'll turn you into a homeowner. Thanks for the call. 248-539-9797. We want to hear from you all morning long. There's definitely existing home sales peaked a little bit. Yeah, they're saying they peaked November of last year. 5.72 million homes were sold. But we're seeing things still moving in the right directions. The future suggests a very strong housing market. Of course, we see what's going on in the world of new construction. There's no doubt that sector has been hindered by getting things built. The costs have been up on them. Chief economist for actually First American Title, Mark Fleming, during an interview on MSNBC, I was reading and watching it last night, spoke about even a half point. No one feels like even if the rates do bump up, which they will, and they're trending that way, it's not going to keep anyone from moving forward and purchasing a house. Folks, you have to understand the tax deductions in place up to $750,000. Writing off the deduction, the interest you pay on a mortgage and your taxes gives you, it's such a savings. It turns like I guess the best scenario I can give here, if you're renting for $1,500, you're going to get a nice amount of money back when you get a house payment for $1,500. It's like renting for about $11,000.
Yeah, you can write the tax break is at $10,000 and under, so the maximum is $10,000 on your property tax and up to $750,000 on mortgage interest. So, you know, there's still it went down from $1 million, but let's not talk about the negative. Let's talk about the positive. Most people don't have $750,000 houses or mortgage interest based off a $750,000 mortgage. And the same thing with property taxes. Most people don't have $10,000 worth of property taxes. So, therefore, for the masses, for everybody that's the majority, you know, you still have a healthy deduction on owning a home. Especially when we talked about last week, Lee, we talked about what rental rates are up and down the Woodward corridor. So if you're looking at anywhere between $1,500 and $2,500 in a rental rate with a minimum down payment, with it's just saving a minimum amount down, you could buy a house. Yes, principal, interest, taxes, insurance for in the $1,500 a month range. Now, we all know home ownership comes with utilities, comes with maintenance, upkeep. It's just not the payment. But however, as Harvey pointed out, you still get nice tax benefits of being a homeowner.
Well, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, it's not just the tax benefits, which are amazing. It's also the fact that you have forced savings for your retirement. If you own a home, you're protecting your retirement from inflation. I mean, there's a billion things I can say here. I'm not going to bore all you guys, but there's not the easiest way to say it is there's
That's
not
the good stuff.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. There's not one economist ever, not one investment guy, not one anybody that's ever going to tell you not to buy a house. That's how you build everything. That's how you build equity. That's how you become a baller. So do it.
I mean, if you got kids and a family, of course, you don't even throw that part. The community
school
aspect,
system,
right?
community
Absolutely.
shopping, pride of ownership, all those things. They come with home ownership.
There's an amazing sub in New Hudson area. It's called Twin Pines. It's my favorite sub on the whole planet. And there's a lot of people in there we have this conversation about. We just had like a lunch and learn with everybody, and we were just talking about all the amazing things. And everyone's like, "Well, yeah, but you're a sales guy, so believe like 50% of what I tell you. Even if I lie about 50% of all the reasons you should own a home, you should still own a home.
Well, go
It's
over there and
that
look
amazing.
yourself, right? You can go over there and walk in the
Absolutely.
door yourself.
Yeah, it's your place. You own it. You care about it. The other thing, too, is the government, the biggest thing people don't understand is the government wants you to own a home, because if you own a home, you care about the schools, you care about the community, you do community watch, you do all those things. You tend your yard, you make upgrades. So they're going to give you all sorts of incentives to push you towards that, so they can tax you, so they can do all those things. And you're going to win, they're going to win. Everybody wins.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the buying experience. I know you got a great team. You guys are like the old-fashioned, great people, down-home folks. I know you got Jamie, yourself, and then who else?
Yeah, we got Gary, and then we got a rock star coordinator called Rachel.
And, you guys all work together to get the families out there. Of course, if you're at one showing and a house comes up on the market, or someone calls and they need to get over there and get their offer in. Yeah, I mean, you guys got a great team to work with. Tell me what you see, like the buying experiences with you, and have you seen any changes over the last few years? And what do you see really going into this? Is this winter like something a little bit different than the previous winters?
What's crazy about right now is that traditionally in Michigan, we run into everybody knows guy. So everybody knows that everybody knows that, and it's just not true in this market and what's happened lately. So one of the things that everybody knows is that, people only buy in the summer. Traditionally, way back in the day, that was absolutely true. Right now, the reason that's different is because nobody could find a house this summer. Everybody's losing bidding wars. Everything's happening. Everything's changing. So these people that they're holdovers, and they're desperately seeking for houses. So if someone out there is saying, I'm going to wait till next summer to list, guess what? Everybody else is doing the same thing. So that's something that's been hugely different. And with these interest rates going up, and with all the scary stuff that's happening, it's just that these buyers are absolutely, they want to buy. They want to buy. They want to buy, and there's just nothing out there to buy.
They want to get educated too. I always know this: the families that sit down and meet, and they're always calling, and the great communication with the clients, they have such a better process because they have that little bit of knowledge that really takes them through that transaction. And Lee, we were talking last night. So many things go down. We call it moving parts. We're going to name it something different today. I wrote down maybe a couple. No, I didn't write down any of the new names. Well, moving parts.
We brainstormed. We're good.
New, definitely moving parts. Home inspection. So you get your offer, go ahead and accept it. Home inspection now kicks in. So many things right from that point have to take place in 30 days. They're ordering the appraisal. We've got title insurance. You have to get your own homeowner's insurance. There's a lot of things going on. You're also maybe gathering your documents if you are still maybe getting funds or a gift from a family member. There's so many things going on. And then, Lee, you get down to the goal line, and then you do the final walkthrough. And you had sort of an experience about that the other day. If you want to mention that, I don't know if I'm going to throw you under on that one. I thought it was sort of interesting because something happened.
Well, yeah. So one of the things that I'm really big on is educating my clients. Education's huge. So my backstory is I lost my first house in a short sale. It crushed me. It absolutely killed me financially, just spiritually, and to be honest, it was super embarrassing. So my passion, the reason I became an agent actually, is to educate all my clients on every possible thing they can do so they don't make the same dumb mistakes I did, right? So I had a client that we were right at the closing. Everything's ready. And so she calls up me and the lender, and she goes, I know this is dumb. I'm a first-time home buyer. I feel embarrassed saying this, but I got your email about where to wire my proceeds, and I just don't know what to do because I've never done this before. Well, lender's response, what email? Turns out email was hacked. It's a scam. If she would have hit enter and submitted those funds, she'd be all that money. House doesn't close. She's screwed. Everybody, maybe she gets the money back down the road, but she doesn't get the house.
So this happened to you when?
This happened to me about 2 months ago.
So here's what we talked about. We talked about how many times, Harvey, have we talked about this in the office? This is exactly what's going on.
Here,
right
let's. We got a lot to talk about on this subject too. We'll go. Let's hit the break and we'll come right back. It's 9:25. You got it here on the Hardcore Mortgage Show. Keep it here. 248-539-9797.
Go.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Hi, Harry Glantz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Capital Mortgage Funding. We're in our 18th plus year here. Hopefully they sign us up for our 19th year, bringing you great information about mortgages, purchasing homes, selling homes, refinancing, cash out refinancing. You know, another thing we could always talk about, second home purchases. So many families, I felt like this was the year that everyone went up north and they came back, Andrew, and I don't know if some of your clients even mentioned it. There's price ranges up north, 60, 70, of course, up to $3, $4, $5 million. So for that, those families looking for that getaway up north, Michigan, you get past that Zilwaukee Bridge, I think everyone's blood pressure sort of just drops a little bit.
It just naturally, you decompress, you know. Let's be honest, this can be hectic.
It could be hectic every day. And, of course, buying second homes, just a minimum of 10% down, 20% down gets you out of the PMI, but you can have co-signers. You can be with your brother, your cousin, your friend, and say, hey, you guys want to purchase a place up north? A lot of these families that do purchase these second homes, they can rent them out sometime throughout the year also and sort of kick back a little bit of their money. And
Airbnb's been great for rental investors.
Absolutely. Yeah, just seeing a lot of it. Harry, you brought in all the stats about what's going on out here. Just in the Woodward Corridor, of course, we have so many clients across southeast Michigan, whether you're in Monroe, Ann Arbor, up towards Romeo and St. Clair County. But here we got a little bit of information. Boy, they're killing them in our own backyard. If you want to live here in what we call the Woodward Corridor, what are they getting?
Well, it's supply and demand. There's such a high demand, and the housing prices have gone up significantly, so that drives the rental market up. And Jeff Hamray just told me a story where he had a buddy whose mortgage payment was in Royal Oak was about $2,100 a month. He's renting it out for $4,200 a month. But the average rent, these are ballpark numbers, and this is per the article in the Detroit Free Press for those who want a reference point. This isn't Harry Glantz and Harvey Freed and Andrew and Jeff making this stuff up. In Berkeley, the average rental price is about $1,500, Birmingham about $2,100, Ferndale about $1,200, Huntington Woods $2,625, and in Royal Oak about $1,600, all across the Woodward Corridor. Please don't tell me that we can't find you a program, that Andrew can't find you a house, that we can't find you a program with minimal down if you have great credit, job stability, or we can make it more affordable for you instead of paying rent. It's got to happen. Now, flip side of the coin, I want everybody to be cautious. I want to set everybody up for success. Don't rush out and just buy a house just to buy a house. It still has to be right for you. But even if rates, and I want this to be food for thought for everybody, God forbid, I know people are going to say, Harry, you said rates are going to go up to 6%. 6% is still low, relatively speaking. But if rates were at 6%, that should not be a barrier because you know what? You're paying $2,500 a month in rent.
You're burning it. You're setting it on fire.
That's 100%.
Even if you're in the 28% bracket, okay, you're still paying net in the fours. Okay? So, listen, and I know my math, that's why I give ballpark numbers. If you want to get more succinct, we can sit down and do that for you. But the overall process and the overall picture is you would still save money.
Detroit inside Hockey Town. Tomorrow on 97.1, The Ticket.
Ready? Welcome back to the show, 9:30. Sort of a pretty day outside. Get out there and enjoy. 248-539-9797. It's a Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Fund. And give us a call all week long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. The differences are astronomical. You're going to save a ton of money, deal with real professionals, and get educated on the process. Again, the clients that know what they're doing are having unbelievably great experiences. And the clients that are trying to punch in things over the phone and talk to 20 different people, those are not working out. Lee's a professional real estate agent. Lee Ehlers is in with us. He'll tell you more about it. And first, we'll go to Dan out there in Dearborn Heights. Good morning, Dan. You got a question about a mortgage. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, how you guys doing this morning?
Real good. Thanks for the call.
Good. Yeah, in 2000, I bought my house in 2005. I'm in Dearborn Heights, like right on the border of Redford.
Yep.
And I'm at the point in my life, for me and my wife, where we want to sell it, but I don't think it's worth what we owe on it. We still owe like $89,000, and the house needs updates. And I'm trying to find out like what's the best way I can. I mean, I don't even care if I break even. I just kind of want to get out of this because, like I said, our kids are growing, and we just want to downsize, maybe to a townhouse or something, and get out of this mortgage. But I'm not sure how to go about it.
Yeah, well, Dan, the first thing you do is you call the show, which is awesome. Second thing you do is we'll talk off the air, and we have some options for you. One of the things we do is usually I can sit down with you and say, hey, your house is worth X right now, and if you do these upgrades, it's going to be here. If you have the money, great. This is what I recommend. If you don't have the money, we have some investors that'll come in, they'll pay cash, and they'll buy it here. And so you have three really great options for you. And then using that barometer, we can get you the next house, then we can get you approved and all that. So that's absolutely doable. It's attainable, and it's pretty easy for you.
Lee, talk about this a little bit because Dan's a great guy here. He's going to, he's done everything right. Of course, he did buy in 05, and then the market crashed on him a little bit. But his area, Dearborn Heights, that Livonia, and the borderlines, those have come back quite a bit, right?
Yeah, it's funny because it's just like when I talk about the subsets with purchase prices. It's the same thing with the area. Everybody says, "Wow, well, the market as a whole came back this way and this way." No, it didn't. There's certain parts of town that are crazy. Correct. There's certain parts of town that never recovered at all, and nobody's buying there. Good news is Dearborn Heights, Livonia, like you said, all those areas are booming, and because if you want to buy an $85,000 house, it's not happening. You want to buy an $5,000 house there, you can still get in a good area. You can still have a safe part for your family, so it's good. So there are going to be buyers for your house. We just got to find them. We have to go after them, which we'll do. But then we'll have a talk about exactly how you want to go about doing it.
Yeah, hey, Dan, it's a great call. Lee's going to call you right after the show here and see if he can make an appointment to stop by your house. It's all great advice to get started. There's no obligation in it. I think it's a great call. I wish more families would call to get more professional people out there and I think sort of educate you on where your next step is.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of different advice and people telling me what I should do and all that. And, and I'm like, well, I listened to your show before and I'm like, well, I'm going to call you guys. I got disconnected. I'm glad I got back on, though.
Oh, I'm glad you called, too.
Much for calling.
We'll definitely get Lee to follow up with you this afternoon. And best of luck to you, Dan. We want to hear that you got a new house in a few months.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot for the call. 248-539-9797. Do you want to call in?
Lee, there's a perfect example. Talking in generalities can be dangerous to most people because most people have their own specific concerns. So, when we say an area is hot or values are going up, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, it doesn't matter what somebody else's property has done. It only matters what your property has done. It doesn't matter what area is hot. Is it the area that you want to live in? It doesn't matter what somebody else can afford. It only matters what you can afford and put your head down on your pillow at night and be comfortable making that payment every month. So we need, and we talked about it at the break, you need to sit down with somebody and have a relationship with somebody and then understand what people's wants, needs, and their specific concerns are. And you have to build a plan. Okay? And I learned that a long time ago, listening to other radio stations from a professional named Rick Bloom. Okay, Rick Bloom said, what are your goals and objectives? We adopt that same philosophy, right? What are your individual goals and objectives for home ownership? Where do you want to live? What do you think you can afford? We'll put you in a specific program tailored for you so you could be successful. Forget about what everybody else is doing.
Right.
Don't be a sheep.
Yeah, we've actually spoken to a lot of clients in the last, I'm going to say 5 to 6 years, who didn't buy the right house, and now they're looking to get out of it.
What about the right mortgage program, Harvey? What about taking the first and second, both on an interest-only loan? They've been in the house 10 years, and they haven't paid 1 penny toward principal. Everybody out there listening, the idea of taking out a loan is to pay it back. Okay? That's it. Every single month, you got to pay it back. And an interest-only loan is a financial mechanism for only people that really understand it and that are going to pay it down or have it for a very short term.
All right. We also talked about debt consolidation loans, as so many of us have equity in our houses now, which is a really great thing. Of course, if you bought a house in the last 5 to 10 years, you probably do have a lot of equity. And so it's a great opportunity for you to do a cash out refinance. Again, you've got to learn what you're doing there. You've got to take a look at all the numbers. And here, when we talk about taking some of the equity out of your house, it's a step in the wrong direction, but you could do a step in the right direction by reducing the years. When you consolidate debt, if you also took a look at knocking 5 or 10 or even getting down to a 15-year fixed mortgage, you're going to be so far ahead of the game. You got to do the math and sit down with the pros. They'll show you how to save money, and that's why we want you to call in. 248-539-9797. Let's go off to Mike in Detroit. Hey, Mike, good morning. You've got a question about a bankruptcy you had. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a bankruptcy. I did a Chapter 7 not too long ago. And just want to know, how long do I have to wait to actually purchase my first home?
Yeah, Mike, did you include a house in that bankruptcy, or did you or weren't a homeowner at the time?
I wasn't a homeowner.
Oh, that's actually good news because you're 2 years. After 2 years after a discharge date, and there are certain unique programs that might even allow sooner, but I'm going to tell you straight up, the hard facts are 2 years after the discharge, you're able to get back into the housing market, and there's a mortgage for you.
How's your credit right now, Mike?
Just kind of rebuilding now. So
okay. And when was that bankruptcy discharged?
Not too long ago. The official date was September 24th. So.
Well,
that'd be the final date. The discharge date.
I'm talking about last September 24th.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got another year from now. Yeah, just
another year. Yeah.
Yeah, just another year from now, and you might need that year to go ahead and get your credit established. Again, we always suggest that if you don't have a car loan, that's a great way to establish it. Again, I'd rather you not have the debt, but if car loans are great. But of course, always secured credit cards. And are you able to get some secured credit cards, or do you have a few lines of credit open now?
No, I'm pretty sure I can go after some secured.
Get that started. That's our best, the best information we can give families after a bankruptcy is, I hate to say it, is sort of get back in the game. But you gotta change your spending habits. You got to make sure that when you do buy and put things on those credit cards, that with the idea that you're going to be paying them off at the end of the month.
Yeah, Mike, and real quick, if I may. So the biggest thing I want to tell everybody in the audience right now, everybody listening, is that Mike's an all-star. You know what Mike's doing is he's being proactive. I can't tell you how many times, I'm not a lender, but how many times I get clients to call up and they're like, so I've been doing nothing forever and now I want to buy a house. Well, you're screwed because now we have 6 months. But you're creating a timeline. You're talking to professionals. You're having a strategy. You're doing everything you want to do. And this isn't a fun conversation to have, obviously, right, man? But you're being smart about it. You're doing everything the absolute right way so you could be congratulated. Go home, tell your family how awesome you are, and we're going to get you a house in a year.
Hey, thanks a lot, man.
Hey, Mike, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. All right, lots of energy here this morning. When we bring when I'm in here and Harry, and then we got Lee on top of it, lots of energy and really positive vibe here this morning. Give us a call, 248-539-9797. We'll turn you into a homeowner either now or in the future. And again, as we were talking about some debt consolidation, this time of the year is pretty interesting because that summer tax bill, Harry.
So you talked about that, Harvey, and we talked about that. There's a right way about going about it, and there's a wrong way. The wrong way is using your house as a piggy bank.
Yeah.
Okay, we do not encourage that at all, because if you're going to continue to run up your credit card debt, take the equity out of your house, pay it off, run up the credit card debt, take the equity out, that day is going to end. You're going to be upside down like it was happening 10 years ago. All right, so we want to alleviate that bad behavior and just say, listen, if you've got credit card debt now and you take it out, and you should list it all down, add it up, see what it totals out to. And then if you feel that the best play for you at this point in time is to go ahead and consolidate it, I would do that. I don't know if anybody saw an article in the paper this past week, Susan Tomper from Detroit News. She's been around for a very, very long time. She's the best, okay? There was a woman on there that took a personal loan and got scammed because she went on the internet, they were calling her, whatever she did, and they ended up, the short version is, they stole money from her bank account. You cannot do business with people that you don't know. Okay, you cannot answer email that you don't know who it's from, and you don't do business with that you don't have a relationship with. You got to check people out. These things happen every day. You talk about scams. The email that you're getting, okay, the mass mailers that you're getting every single day. Call somebody and ask for help before you go and do something on your own.
Harry, right. The internet's been a great thing for so many, but so many phishing scams out there. And the way the market's going, we're taking the other side of things. Yeah, it's nice. Sometimes it's real easy to download your documents, and you could do all that, but still deal with the local lender.
But you have
like
to know who you're doing business with,
100%.
because you have to know the person on the other end of the phone. They can guide you, okay? It has to be a secure email, okay? It has to be secure websites. These things happen, and you should have somebody on the other end of the phone that's guiding you through all this, too.
Well, here we are at the end of the month, too, Lee, and of course, this time of year is really busy. Be careful. We talked about the wiring scams. We're right at the end of the month where a lot of you families out there listening are going to be closing this week. Be sure to contact your lender directly and find out if you have to wire the money, exactly who you're doing that with.
You're not going to win the Nigerian lottery when they get that, okay? And the IRS doesn't call you to collect money, okay? They don't.
No.
Hey, we're up against a quick break. When we come back, 248-539-9797. All of your calls.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
All right, we're back, 9:45. Get out there and enjoy the day. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call, Capital, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Plenty of stuff to do today, right? Go to the cider mill. There's a lot of cider mills. Go
Everything.
to Yates, go to Franklin, go everywhere.
Like that. You got Spice. I want to leave one out now here that you said. You got Blake's. You said Blake's?
I didn't say Blake's.
Spicers, Irwin's, Gate. What's
Yates,
that?
Y-A-T-E-S.
Yes, Yates. No, there's a couple thousand on, but anyways, yeah, get out there and enjoy the day and do. Hey, final things. You got boating still? Why not? The weather's nice.
Are you still boating, Harv?
I got to clean a boat today here. I'm going to clean one of them, but definitely fun things to do. Or go on and buy a house. Get in touch with Andrew Grimm and his unbelievable staff. Andrew, you're at the Real Estate One office in Troy off of West Long Lake area. But you're just, I just love talking with you last night. But more importantly, you're one of those well-rounded guys. Grew up a little in Southwest Detroit, Garden City Heights. You're all over. Now you live in Groseal?
Yeah. I decided to move to the island. Every time I hit that bridge, I get to leave all of the real estate nonsense behind me and kind of decompress a little bit. But yeah, growing up in Detroit, there's certain communities you always pay attention to and think like, hey, I'd love to live there one day. So here I am.
We also offer mortgages. I'll throw it out there for the people that have had some credit problems in the past. We actually go down as low as 600. Now, it doesn't mean everyone out there with a 600 credit score is going to get approved, but we've been able to get families, individuals with lower credit scores approved lately with low credit scores. 600 and above is pretty much where we work at. And again, it's so important to check out your credit. If you're thinking about purchasing a house down the road, find out now what's on your credit because it gives us some time to do the rescore and to fix things up. If you need to pay off a collection, if you need to track down a judgment that you paid for, get in front of that trouble now. That way it's not a problem for you down the road. And we talk about when families are purchasing a house, again, it's sort of about preparation.
Team and the league with Mike Valenti. During the game, Dennis Fithian and Dan Leach take you around the league with highlights and analysis. After the game, celebrate or commiserate with Jeff Rieger on the Game Day Uncensored postgame show. Game Day Uncensored, brought to you by Greektown Casino and Hotel and Miller Lite.
On your radio and streaming worldwide, we show the world what Detroiters are made of.
97.1 The Ticket.
Alrighty, welcome back to the show. If you're just tuning in, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show in our 19th year coming up. 248-539-9797. We take all your calls. Always a Capital Mortgage, your 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage bank, and save a ton of money on closing costs, get a low interest rate. How about this? Learn exactly what you're doing so when you show up to the closing this week, you'll know exactly what you're signing. There's so much going on there. It's really fun when you do a closing. The families are showing up, Lee. Of course, it's great for us because we know that this family's getting the keys. They're moving on. We can move on to the next family. But there's a lot of things going on. Of course, the deed is transferred. You're bringing your cash to close. And we talked about that scam out there, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some other things to beware of. But let's go out to some of these calls. We've got Frank in Heartland first. Oh, we go to Nick first. Hey, hang in there, Frank. Hey, Nick in Monroe. What's going on?
Hey, I just had a quick question. My fiance and I are getting married in December.
Congrats.
And our lease expires next August. I was wondering when the right time to hook up with an agent was to start looking into the housing market.
Well, Lee, you want to go with that?
Yeah. So basically, it's like the last guy we talked to, where there's no time that's too early is not a thing. It doesn't exist, because even if it's like for sure you're locked in, you can't buy out of your lease, blah blah. We can start having a plan. We can start educating you, start connecting you to people. If you need to build your credit up, if you need to save up some money, I mean, now is a great time, and everything's free for sure. So let's talk, and we can kind of develop the best game plan for you.
Yeah, Lee, Nick, you said your lease is up next August, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that puts you sort of at the June, May, right in the heart of home buying season, where you're up against, those 40 or 50 other buyers out there. So on each house, that's nice, and that you guys are going to want. So I like that idea. At least start building your team now. Maybe even go out there and get a taste of what the market looks like now, so that you're a little bit closer to being prepared. And I think it's a great call, Nick.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll follow up with you. Lee, you said something that really caught my attention was, because if you're 720 credit, you can make your credit score 760 and above. You can fix your own credit. Give yourself a few months just by doing a few things. Maybe lowering your balances on your credit cards, maybe shifting some of the debt into one credit card and changing your balances on others.
Maybe continuing to make your payments on time.
That would be the best scenario.
I don't know.
Well, and also, though, but I have a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm 720, I'm good. Yeah, right now, but then you're going to wedding season, you rack up credit card debt, you rack up a bunch of other things that, because you never just sat down with an agent, you never talked about. So form your team now. Never too early. Talk about everything, even stuff you don't think about. We had one guy who lost out on a house because he bought a deferred payment card and put $20,000 worth of stuff on there, and he's like, well, I don't have to pay it for next year. It's like, yes, but that's on your credit right now.
Right.
So let's talk.
The department store, or the stores out there, the furniture stores and stuff, I won't use any names, but when you get that bill and it says, well, I don't have any payments for 12 months, I got bad news for you. We count that against you. That's a debt on your credit report, and you need to know that kind of things. Also, if you're getting married out there, you're going to be moving a lot of money around, like you said, Lee. And again, funds to close are very important. You have to document this. So calling a real mortgage professional now will just save you some headaches, when you're looking to buy a house. Again, there's very easy ways you can document things, and there's a few pieces of documentation we like to see. Even a wedding invitation sometimes is just simple a form of documentation that'll show that you guys
everything's got to be everything has to be tracked.
Got a paper trail.
It just has to be tracked. There's no hidden ball tricks. You can't, your mom can't write you a note. I mean, we have to show. They can give you a gift.
Yeah.
And we have to track their gift and where that comes from when it goes into the bank. However, everything has to be tracked. Anybody says things don't have to be tracked, they're just telling you the wrong.
Yeah, I had one. I don't want to tell a boring one with a quick story. Is the clients paid $5,000, I think, for the band, and then a month later, their parents gave them the $5,000 back. So it wasn't a gift; they were reimbursing them for something they wanted paid for. Things can get complicated. That's why you deal with the pros. Hey, let's go out there to Heartland and talk to Frank. Good morning, Frank. Uh-oh. Like he had a bad question or something.
Right.
Hey, we'll try him in the
You
future.
didn't lose me, did you?
No, there we are. Hey there, Frank. What's going on?
Okay, good. I'm on my phone. That's in the car. That's why.
All right.
What's going on is that I'm 74 years old. I'm in a house right now. It's a mobile home, a modular like type home. It's about 2,100 square feet. It's a nice size home.
Yeah.
We're thinking of either putting it to property or selling it and buying another home. I'd like to buy a house, a real house. We've lived in one before. We've been in modular homes for 10, 15 years now.
Yeah, so...
And my question is, in regards to credit, do you guys help us with the credit?
Yeah.
Give me an idea of what to do, because my credit score has gone up from in the 500s up to almost 700. It's about 688 right now.
Oh, good for you. Congrats.
But we bought that up, and I still have a couple hard hits I got to get rid of.
All right.
My income came up about 18 months ago, and I've been knocking everything off I can. I haven't missed a car payment in 2 years or longer, ever since I bought this car. I got about 15 months to go on it. It'll be paid off. I'm thinking of doubling up. What's more valuable, a down payment like 10 grand down, or would be having my car paid off?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I'd rather see. We have to run the numbers. We'll do the ratios for you, and we'll check it out, and we'll also get into what you want your mortgage payment to be and what you can afford, and we incorporate all your liabilities in there. We'll take the car payment, we'll take a future house payment, we'll take the taxes, we'll take your insurance, and then we'll see if it's worth paying that car down or keeping it for the down payment, keeping the mortgage payment down. You know, so it's a balancing act. We'll have to figure it out. We have the formula for you, but we have to see the hard numbers.
Hey, Frank, do you own the land? Is where your modular is now? Do you own the land?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
in a park. I'm paying about $1,200 a month.
All right, we're going to get you out of there. You could have, like you said, it's ready for a house time now, and then you'll build a lot of equity. All right. We've got a plan for you moving forward. We'll have Lee give you a call and get you set up, and the key is that we get you approved and really go over those numbers with you. Looking forward to meeting you. Thank you.
Okay, that'd be good. And I'm also a vet. I got DA behind me.
Excellent.
I haven't used that yet.
There you go. Now you're zero. Now you can use
zero down.
Zero down. You just got to come up with closing costs and prepaids or sellers' concessions, and you're going to be in great shape, Frank. Thank you for the call. It's great. All right, there's an opportunity out there.
Those are the kinds of things we know. He threw in at the end. He's a veteran.
Right.
So he has 100% loan to value. He doesn't have to put a down payment down. Okay, there might be some other costs involved, but bottom line is he can come up with less money, but we have to set him up for success. You put him in touch with Lee. They'll find a property. We have to set this gentleman up for success. He's 74 years old. Okay, we don't want to have any problems. He does not need any problems.
No, he needs a nice solid roof over his head with not a lot of maintenance and stuff, and of course, an opportunity to build equity as he definitely is in his retirement ages. Good stuff. 248-539-9797. You want to sneak one in? Let's go to Joe real quick in Mount Clemens. Hey, Joe, you got a question about capital gains. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was trying to find out how does capital gains tax work? I have a rental property that I'm looking at selling, and you know, the little bit of extra money that comes out, how does that capital gains tax work?
Are you going to take it and you're going to reinvest it, or what are you going to do with the money when you get it?
No, probably put it in the bank or IRA, stuff like that.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'll put you in touch with a tax professional, because we're not tax professionals. We don't play them on the radio. We're not attorneys either.
Okay.
So I would tell you that you should call if you have an accountant that you deal with, a financial planner, a CPA.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the people, and they're going to tell you, you know, what the tax consequences are. Okay. You know, what did you buy it for? What are you going to sell it for? How much money are you going to net as a result? What investment vehicle you're going to put it into? There's all kinds of variables that you're going to need to ask. You know, they're going to ask you those questions, and they're going to give you that kind of advice.
Hey, Joe, how long?
go ahead.
I was going to say, how long have you lived the property, or how long have you owned it?
Since '99, I've owned it.
So 99, and you're gonna. What kind of gain are you going to realize? Just what's the net that you're going to get out?
Probably I'll take out about $60,000.
Okay, $60,000. What'd you buy the property for in 1999?
For $100,000.
And you're selling it for what right now? 160.
Well, I'm thinking about 160 right now.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to tell you it depends. You know, there's other costs and things involved in that. Again, I don't want to get involved.
Those CPAs will show you how to depreciate it.
I could take a stab at it. But I'm not good with predictions, and I really, unfortunately, people that know me know that I like to be right all the time. So I don't want to be wrong in your case and wreck my record. Okay,
right.
So we'll put you in touch with somebody. We got a couple people we can refer you to, and they will absolutely give you the hardcore number.
And I can also take that money and pay my current loan off that I got in my house right now.
Sure, you can.
Yes, you can.
You can do a lot with that money, man.
There you go.
Hey, thanks for the call, Joe. We appreciate it.
Great call.
Hey, Lee, you got something to say? We're at the end of the show.
Yeah, 8391 Mallard Crossing in Green Oak is probably the greatest house I've ever listed. I recommend everybody check it out. We just reduced the price to almost $80,000, so it's out there. If you like playing golf in your backyard, this is the house for you.
All right, so we've got some unique properties out there. You're going to call Capital Mortgage all day long. We'll get you set up with Lee Ehlers and his unbelievable team out there. Again, Capital Mortgage, 1-800-LOW RATE, the best mortgage banker. Thanking Lee from coming in. Lee, you're the best, man. Remerica
True
United.
story. Thank you, Lee. Appreciate it.
He's outstanding. For Harry Glanz, Lee Ehlers, I'm Harvey Free. Keep it here. We got football coming up at noon. Jeff Rieger next. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket.
Felt like it was 10 minutes.